All right, so let's talk about something that we've been waiting on for what feels like forever, and that is Hollow Knight Silksong. Yes, the game that became more than just a sequel. It became a meme, a legend, and for many of us, a test of patience. But finally, after years of silence, delays, speculation, and endless maybe it'll show up at this event moments, we finally got the news. Silksong has a release date, and it's not just a vague window, not a coming soon, but an actual date that you can circle on your calendar. And that date is September 4th of this year. And on top of that, we've also got details about post-launch DLC, platform availability, Xbox Game Pass, and of course, that shiny new Gamescom trailer that has the community buzzing. So today, let's break all of this down. The history, the hype, the new details, and why this moment feels so monumental for fans who've been waiting since way back in 2019. So let's rewind the clock for a second here, because Silksong wasn't always meant to be its own standalone game. Team Cherry originally envisioned it as a DLC for the original Hollow Knight, just as an expansion where you get to play as Hornet. But as the devs kept working, they kept adding more, sketching more, building more systems and environments, until eventually it outgrew its original scope. And I think that's part of why the hype has been so ridiculous. Silksong was first announced in 2019. We got a glimpse, we saw Hornet leaping around, and the community instantly latched on. But then, just complete silence. The game would pop up every now and then to confirm new platforms like, hey, it's also coming to Xbox, or yep, Switch players, you're covered. But actual details, actual gameplay, anything concrete, almost nothing. And over time, Silksong news became a bit of a running joke in the industry. Every time that Jeff Keighley would hype up a show, fans would storm the chat spamming Silksong when. Every Nintendo Direct, people held their breath. And when it didn't appear, the disappointment just kind of became part of the ritual. And so it reached a point where Silksong wasn't just a game anymore, it was a cultural moment. We've all been collectively waiting, and now it is real. And so fast forward to Gamescom, Team Cherry promised an announcement for August 21st. And man, they did not disappoint. Out of the gate, Opening Night Live dropped a brand new Silksong trailer, full of gameplay, boss fights, platforming challenges, NPCs, and a sneak peek at the sprawling world that Hornet will be exploring. And of course, that big headline is the release date was finally locked. It's September 4th, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And that's not a year away, that's literally a few weeks away. And after years of waiting, that kind of certainty feels surreal. And they didn't just stop at the date. They confirmed the platforms. It's PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and even the Switch 2. And plus, it's a day one Game Pass Ultimate release. And that last one is huge. Hollow Knight built up its audience in part thanks to word of mouth and accessibility. And now having Silksong instantly available to Game Pass subscribers is going to blow this thing up even more. And so if you thought that Hollow Knight had a cult following, Silksong is going to be massive right out of the gate. But now let's talk about what the trailer actually showed, because there's a ton packed in. We got to look at Hornet moving through these gorgeous, handcrafted environments. Team Cherry's art style is still jaw-dropping. Those lush backdrops, the tiny environmental details, the ways enemies pop up with personality. The trailer confirmed over 200 enemies and more than 40 bosses. And that is insane. That's bigger than a lot of full games, and it instantly sets the tone. This is not just Hollow Knight, but with Hornet. This is a fully fleshed out adventure that may even surpass the original. And we also got glimpses of NPC interactions, those quirky, charming characters that help give Hollow Knight so much personality. And of course, platforming sequences that look brutal. We're talking spikes, traps, and precision jumps that are clearly going to test everyone's patience in the best way possible. And it feels familiar, but at the same time, you can already see how much more ambitious that Silksong is. But maybe the most interesting reveal came not from the trailer, but from an interview with Bloomberg. Team Cherry's co-founders Ari Gibson and William Pellin sat down and confirmed something that fans have been speculating about for a while. Silksong will have a DLC, which is kind of poetic when you think about it, because the whole game started as a DLC. But now, they've confirmed that post-launch content is already in the works. And it's not just a little extra, but ambitious expansions that could roll out months and even years after launch. And they even admitted that during development, they had so many ideas that they had to cut themselves off. Gibson literally said he had to stop sketching because everything he drew up ended in the game. And at some point, it was like, if I don't stop, this is going to take 15 years to finish. So they made the call. Ship the core game, then bring those extra ideas to life as DLC. And that's honestly exciting, because if Hollow Knight fans know anything, it's that Team Cherry doesn't half-ass anything. If they say they got ambitious post-launch content, you know it's going to be worth the wait. And now I think it's worth pausing here to address the elephant in the room. Why did Silksong take this long? Why all the silence, the delays, the vanishing acts between announcements? And part of it is just the nature of indie development. Team Cherry is a small studio, and the bigger Silksong got, the more ambitious it became. The harder it was to lock down a release window, and honestly, I respect that they didn't want to rush it. They could have easily slapped together a smaller game and cashed in on the Hollow Knight name years ago. But instead, they kept building, they kept adding, and kept pushing themselves. And the result is a game that feels like it's going to live up to the absurd hype and maybe even surpass it. And let's be real, after waiting this long, would you rather have a rushed product or the full vision that they've been cooking all these years? And for me, that is an easy answer. The wait makes sense. And now what does this mean for the community? Because the Hollow Knight community is special. This isn't just another Metroidvania fanbase. Hollow Knight became this cultural touchstone because of its blend of challenge, beauty, and mystery. People theorize about the lore, like it's Dark Souls. They share speedrun strats, fan art, cosplay, even entire fan-made projects inspired by the game. And Silksong's release date isn't just exciting for the people who play it, it's a moment for the entire community that's been hanging on to every scrap of news since 2019. And we're about to enter another golden age of Hollow Knight content. Speedruns, lore breakdowns, theory crafting, boss fight ranking, because it's literally going to be everywhere. And with Game Pass making it even more accessible, the community is only going to grow and grow. And of course, the flip side of all this hype is the pressure. Expectations for Silksong are sky high. People are expecting this game to not only be as good as Hollow Knight, but to blow it out of the water. And now that's a tough spot for any developer, especially a small indie studio. But based on what we've seen, based on the scale, the attention to detail, the sheer number of enemies and bosses, I think that Team Cherry is ready for that challenge. And if anyone can deliver, it is them. And so here we are. Hollow Knight Silksong, September 4th of 2025. A day that's been 6 years in the making. A game that has started as a DLC, became a full sequel, went quiet for years, became a meme, and is now finally real. We've got a gorgeous trailer, we've got confirmed platforms, we've got Game Pass, we've got DLC plans that promise years of content, and most importantly, we've got a release date. And now, I don't know about you guys, but this feels like one of those rare gaming moments that we'll remember for a long time. The wait has been painful, but now it is almost over. Hornet is about to take the stage, and I cannot wait to dive in. So my overall question to you guys is, what do you guys think? Was it worth it? Are you planning to play Silksong day one on Game Pass? Or are you going to grab it on Switch, PlayStation, or PC? And what are your theories for the DLC? What kind of crazy ideas do you think Team Cherry left on the cutting room floor that we'll see later? And hey, if you've been waiting since 2019 like I have, we've earned this moment. Silksong is real, it's coming, and September 4th cannot get here fast enough. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button if you are new, as I will continue to make more gaming news videos just like this one. Until next time.